I got this yarn from the thrift store. I think I want to make a romper. Here's the plan. I started by searching the internet. After kind of looking through some reference photos, I began to pull different qualities from each of the different styles. Those qualities included being short sleeve, some type of open back. I wanted a fun button closure for the back and a looser gauge so it's a bit more see-through. I'm just going to try to sketch it out. I'm still working on my sketching skills. Here's what I came up with. So the top I'll be knitting in a raglan style, doing increases around the hips as necessary. And also, since this is going to be an open back, I'm going to knit this kind of like a cardigan style where I don't connect it in the middle, except the opening is going to be in the back. Depending if I want the shorts to be looser or tighter, I'll kind of adjust how many increases I'll do for those. So basically I'm kind of combining my raglan tutorial and my shorts tutorial with a few tweaks and adjustments. We're just winging it here. I think I'm just going to start because I probably will change this entire plan along the way, but that's the fun of it sometimes. Knit my gauge swatches. So I'm going to start with US 11 needles for the ribbing. So I'm not going to be knitting in the round technically for this part because it's going to be open in the back. So I'm just going to start knitting the collar and then kind of decide how I want to decrease for the open back. The other thing that I need to decide right now is the closure in the back because I want to do a cool button. I might make a button. I can also do like a tie in the back. So I guess I'm going to have to include a buttonhole in the neckline, and that's what we're gonna do right now. I finished the neckline. I think this is how thick I want it to be, and I did try to do a little buttonhole, which isn't that big of a deal because the gauge is so loose, so you can kind of put a button wherever, if that makes sense. But if I wanted to do a bigger button, then it could fit in there. Basically, what I did for that, you guys saw that I was watching this TikTok, so it's kind of like a cast off, but you're not actually knitting the next stitch. You're kind of just putting one over the other. I'll link the tutorial that I used down below. And then you cast on a stitch and continue to knit, and that's pretty much how I did that. So now I have this neckline, but the next step is switching my needles. I'm going to switch to a US 15 needle, which is 10 millimeters. And also while I do that, I'm going to set up my raglan increases. And then I think the plan after that is once I get to the ends, I'll decrease a few stitches. I'll put a lifeline in here at this point because I think I'm happy with this neckline. But for now, I'm just going to be increasing around the shoulders, those raglan increases, and then decreasing for that keyhole in the back. Okay, it's the next day. Here's a little update. I think everything is going okay so far. I do wish that the neckline was a little bit smaller, but I think overall it's gonna look good. So pretty much what I'm doing is this front part is just normal raglan increases, and then for the back, as you can see, that's where the button will be. I'm still doing the raglan increase, but I'm decreasing 2 times every time I finish a row. And on the purl rows, I'm not doing any increases or anything funky. It's just like a normal row. So I think I'm gonna tie off the sleeves. I also just switched to a longer cord. As for the back, it's gonna be kind of hard to show, but I think it'll look better once I tie off the sleeves. It'll make a little bit more sense, but I kind of decreased it. Now instead of doing the decreases like at the end of each row, I'm not gonna do any more decreases because I'd completely run out of stitches. So I'm just gonna build that down, and then eventually I'm gonna have to do increases on the ends to kind of close it back up, but I'm not gonna worry about that right now. After this part and after I tie off the sleeves, I'll be able to try it on a little bit more freely. Okay, let's tie off the sleeves. Since I'm always filming the process of me making things, I want to share a little content creator must-have, which is this invisible tripod phone stand by MOFT. This is such a game changer when it comes to vlogging on my phone and filming things for Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, etc. It's so thin and portable, it just sticks to the back of your phone. You can record at different angles and also use it in landscape mode. I use it as a phone stand as well when I'm just wanting to watch a video on my phone. I love that it folds up and I can just keep it attached to my phone all the time and use it whenever I need to. You can adjust it to different heights to cater to your needs. You can even use it to hold your phone to take pictures or videos like this. And they also let me try out this Snap battery pack. It again just sticks to the back of your phone and just charges your phone. So I don't have to carry any messy cords. I can just pop this in my purse and use it whenever I need to. You guys seriously need to try this out. I also like to fidget with it, which is just another plus. If you film any type of content on your phone, or honestly, if you just use a phone at all, definitely check out MOFT. I'll leave a link to their website in my description. This has been a lifesaver. I think at this point, I'm gonna start doing increases to kind of close the back together. It's a little bit wider than I thought it was gonna be. I think it's gonna be okay. So I'm just gonna do decreases and then I'm gonna join it in the round and then start the shorts. I do maybe wanna do a little bit of shaping around the waist. So I might do a couple decreases under the sleeves. Then that should give it more of a form-fitting figure, I think. So this is what I have done. It doesn't seem like much since I last talked to you, but I wanted to wait to start this part until after I kind of talked it out with you guys. This is where we're at right now. We have the sleeves tied off. The back is still open. So after I tied off the sleeves, I did about 11 rows. And my next step, like I was saying, I kind of want to take in the waist a little bit, but also increase that opening in the back so it can eventually connect back together. So I think I'm at a point where I want to start doing that. So I have the 6 stitches that were part of the back and then halfway on the sleeve, which is where I'll be decreasing. I did that on both sides, so this side and this side. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to decrease. I don't know if I want to do every row or every other row for decreases. I am going to put a lifeline in at this point because I don't know how this is going to go. It's going to be pretty dependent on just me trying it on and seeing if I like it or not. So I'm going to put this lifeline in because I like what it looks like right now, just in case I need to come back and fix anything. So let's start working on the waist and closing up the back. Okay, I did exactly what I was planning on doing, what I just told you guys, and it's working out honestly perfectly. So as you can see, it kind of comes in a little bit on the waist here, but the back, this is what the back looks like. It's connected with a stitch marker right now, but I'm gonna connect it on the next row. I honestly feel like it's working really well. Maybe could have went a little bit tighter, but I don't think I wanted that tight. I think I just wanted it to look kind of, you know, this is still only my second ball of this yarn and I still have, I think it's my second. I still have so much left. So if I count from where I did the lifeline, 11 rows. So another 11 rows. So this was 11 rows, then another 11 rows. So I'm gonna connect it in the back and then maybe still do decreases where the stitch markers are up until I kind of get to like, maybe where my hips kind of start. This is kind of me just talking on how I fit things to my body. It's a lot of trial and error, but so far hasn't been much error. I'm gonna connect it in the back, do a few more rows, including the decreases still, and then see where we're at and where I want to start kind of building out for the shorts. We'll address that when we get to it. I made a smoothie and some chai. I maybe want to switch back to a shorter cord, but at the same time, it's so much easier to try things on when you have a lot of excess cord. But now I'm just doing stockinette in the round, so no more purl rows. I feel like I'm such a slow purler. I feel like a very common thing that beginners don't know when they first start knitting in the round. When you're knitting in the round, you're pretty much just like building off of the previous row. So instead of flipping it over, you're only doing knit stitches. So that's why I was saying that I don't have to do any more purl stitches because stockinette in the round is just knit stitches. But before, since I was only working on a panel and it wasn't connected in the round, then for stockinette, I was doing knits on one side, purls on the other. If you were to do a knit a row, purl a row, knit a row, purl a row in the round, then you would get the garter stitch. I made that mistake when I was a beginner. I thought that you had to start the new row with a purl row to do the stockinette, but since you're just building off the previous round, then that's how you get the stockinette. I just am really excited because I haven't done a bigger project in a while. I feel like I've been spinning a lot and just not really making anything because for so long we were in like an in-between season. So I didn't want to make anything for summer, but I knew that I wasn't going to be able to be wearing sweaters for that much longer. But now I feel really inspired again. So, okay, I'm going to continue to build the rows up until maybe like right at the top of where my hips start is when I can start kind of working on the shorts portion. But after I get to the shorts portion, then I can't try it on overhead. I have to be stepping into it.
I need it. I don't know why you got me sinking so low.
I've run into a little issue. Not really. Also, I'm wearing a fake septum ring because I'm trying to decide if I want to get mine pierced or not. The issue is that I was decreasing all in the same spot, and you can definitely tell that I was decreasing for the future. And if anyone was wondering, I would maybe place the decreases elsewhere or like kind of alter it so it's not so stark in one area. That's what I have so far. It's getting to the point I think when I'm going to start the shorts, so I'm going to try it on. The reason why there's a big gap is because I dropped a stitch, so I'm going to fix that, but this is where it's hitting right now. I think I'm going to do a few rows of just regular knitting, no increases or decreases. So I'm going to do a few rows and then I'm going to start the shorts part. Honestly, could stop here and make this into a top because I just really like the shaping.
I never wanna know. It keeps me restless. I try, but everything.
I'm gonna do like 5 more inches of just normal rows. I like the circumference it's at right now. And then once I do 5 inches, then I'll start kind of working on increases because I don't know, since it's already loose, I don't think I'm gonna do that many increases for the shorts. Where like the shorts tutorial that I posted last year, I kind of wanted them to flare out. But for these, I think they'll look better, a little bit more form-fitting. So it's like a tight romper. So I think I'm gonna go pretty far until like my legs split, if that makes sense. It kind of sounds weird. But basically I'm gonna knit until I have to split off the legs into 2. So yeah, that's what I'll be doing now. And I've just been marking my progress with little stitch markers. I've been not writing things down and then I forget. Even like yesterday, like most of these notes I wrote down yesterday and I was like, what did I do? This looks like a mess. This is what all my patterns look like. So, small problem. Yesterday, I was so excited to come home from work and work on my romper because I'm so close to starting the shorts part. I injured my finger like 20 minutes before my shift ended and then I didn't know how bad it was, so I've just been like buddy taping or whatever. That is not proper medical practice. If you think you're injured, go get it checked out. Feels better today, but it only really feels better when I have it taped together. So I think I'm gonna try to knit with my fingers taped. Not that it would be a huge issue, I just don't wanna like fatigue it too much. Also, as you can see, that happened, which you'll see in the next vlog. So that's just a little sneak peek. How long it is, I think I'm gonna start placing stitch markers for the leg holes. I kind of want to do increases in the front and back, but I might only do increases for the back because I feel like that shaping might look a little better, and then maybe do some kind of thing for the gusset. I could always do like German short rows, but I feel like it's such a loose gauge that it's just gonna drape however it does. I'm gonna put a lifeline in and then kind of go from there. For the short section, I did, let's see, I placed that lifeline. I had 54 stitches. For 3 rows, I did increases only on the back. So knit the first stitch, make 1 left, knit all the way around, and then before you knit your last stitch, do a make 1 right, knit the last stitch, and then that's your row. So I did that 3 times. Then I did a normal row, an increase row front and back. So where I placed like halfway, I did increases in the beginning of the row, the middle, blah, blah, blah. So bringing it all together, I did increases in the back 3 times, 1 normal row, 1 increase row, 1 normal row, 1 increase row, and then 1 more normal row is what I ended on. So now I'm splitting off the legs. Basically, I'm just gonna tie off half of the stitches and then come back to it. I think I'll cast on like 3 stitches in the crotch area. Yeah, just knit a few rows and then do some ribbing so it doesn't curl up on itself. Okay, I'm about to leave for yoga, but I wanted to try this on. I can kind of explain to you where I'm at with this. So I finished the shorts. I actually did end up finishing the sleeves already. That was like picking up those stitches again and then knitting 2 rows of ribbing and then doing another Italian bind off. This is gonna look kind of weird because I'm gonna be trying it on over my workout clothes, but then you guys can get the gist and I won't be afraid of like flashing anything because obviously she's a little see-through. But let me tell you kind of what I'm thinking right now because I'm having a little bit of conflict with what's going on in the back. So I really like the back, but it seems like with some wear it might stretch out too much. So I can't decide if I want to pick up stitches around the back or do a second closure like that. And I might just do the classic like minigru ribbon, which I usually put on all my stuff, and just have that tied in the middle and on the top, and then that will be the closures. The good thing is I can try out the ribbon first and see if I like it like that. If I don't, I can go back and pick up stitches. But I think this would look nice for the closure in the back, like right here. There's like some stitches that I need to stretch out. It kind of is like a little bit messy. So I think the plan of attack now is I'm just gonna weave in all the ends and kind of like even out stitches. Okay guys, I finished. So I know I was kind of contemplating what to do for the closure. Since this isn't like permanent, I think for now I'm just gonna have the bow there and then I can always pick up stitches and knit later on because I still have yarn. I think I only used like 3.5 balls of that yarn. Another thing that I did obviously is I weaved in my ends. I had those holes from where I did the decreases on the sides and I don't know, I think it was like the knit 2 together decreases that kind of were getting a little like gappy. There was too much space, so I pretty much just for both sides did like duplicate stitching. It doesn't look the best, but it almost looks like more of a contour line if anything. I did in the beginning of this video say that I wanted to make a belt with this, but my hands have just been really sore, especially after injuring my finger, so I think I'm gonna wait to do that down the line. But it does look so cute with a belt. I tried it on with this belt that you guys might have seen me find in my Goodwill bins video, but this belt looks so good, so I'll try it on with this as well. But that doesn't mean I'm ruling out like making my own belt. I probably will since I do have yarn. Take care of your hands, take care of your wrists. If you're feeling fatigued, definitely give it a little rest. You don't want to injure yourself in the long term. I guess we'll get into the fun part, which is trying everything on. Obviously for YouTube, I'll be trying it on with like proper undergarments, but probably like if you were wearing it to a festival or somewhere, you could wear it differently, style it differently. Okay, let's try it on. Here it is. So I'm wearing like a swimsuit underneath. I guess I'll style it as if I was going to like a festival, which I'm not because it's a little bit out of the budget right now, but we can pretend. Okay, obviously we have to do the boots. I feel like the ones that I bought are a little bit big, which makes them more comfortable for like if you were going to a festival. I have actually 3 belts that I think will look nice with this romper. It just gives such a good like boho look. Of course we gotta do some fun glasses. I just have these blue ones. And then like a pashmina is cute to wear. Hopefully you enjoyed the process of me designing and making this romper. I feel bad sometimes not posting step-by-step tutorials for things. Usually those come after like several prototypes of me trying different sizing and stuff. This was more of a fun experimental project. So hopefully you guys still enjoyed watching me make this. But yeah, let me know if you guys do like these like full process project vlogs. I had so much fun designing this piece from the beginning, and honestly, everything worked out like pretty well. I didn't have to do any frogging, like serious frogging. But yeah, if you have any questions, let me know if I didn't like cover anything of like how I did things. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give it a like and make sure you subscribe. It really helps me out. Definitely make sure you check out MOFT, the snap battery pack, and the invisible phone tripod stand. I love this thing. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.